to move this conversation on, I can now speak with cybersecurity advisor Megha Kumar, who works for cybersecurity consulting business CyXcel. Welcome to the show. It seems astonishing that this kind of thing could happen of our own volition. It feels like a cyber attack. This is the kind of thing we were promised all those years ago with the Millennium Bug, Y2K. How on earth can something this major happen?
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, indeed, this is a very serious issue. I think this kind of a crisis was actually a long time coming, and that's for two reasons. One, because there is excessive competition in the cybersecurity market, but that has still not prevented the concentration of the market among a very small select group of IT companies. So CrowdStrike is a market leader in anti-software services across the world, and Microsoft, together with Google and AWS, really dominates the cloud space. So what you have in a context like this is that there is a single point of failure right at the top of the supply chain, and everything goes down. It is, if I had to give you a simple analogy, it would be saying that if your heart pacemaker is malfunctioning or disrupted or out of commission for any reason, it really doesn't matter what the rest of the body is going to do.
That's an astonishing similarity there. The problem with that, of course, is that the beating heart of the world now is technology, and it really makes you realise, Megha, that we're just so dependent on it for everything, for shopping, for medicine, for travelling, for the everyday life. Do you think that the reputation of CrowdStrike now is utterly obliterated?
I think the reputational damage of this incident is going to be serious for both CrowdStrike and Microsoft, and that cost is already already reflected in the hit they've taken on their share price. But I think the longer-term cost might be more serious still. A lot of intermediaries, for example, insurers, encourage companies, small and large, to go with these providers because they are market leaders. They have a strong reputation up until now in this space. And if these intermediaries raise questions about the reliability of the services provided by these market leaders, then the impact is going to be much more serious. And the other thing that that's worth watching and that could affect these companies is whether there has been data loss. Under GDPR of the EU and the UK, data breaches can be about the confidentiality of data, its integrity, or its availability. And as your colleague just mentioned, a lot of primary healthcare facilities across the NHS have reported not being able to access patient data. So data availability can also be a breach under GDPR, and that in turn, has both reporting and regulatory obligations. So these companies have a serious problem ahead.
And Megha, down to the personal level, my son was on his first school trip today. He was actually on the aircraft at Heathrow, due to fly to Berlin, sat there for 1 hour. They had to get off the entire airport. We can see pictures on our screen now. The entire airport in total lockdown, nobody able to get anywhere. In terms of the knock-on impact of that, presumably people will be able to claim all their travel insurance. Will the insurers be going after CrowdStrike? I mean, millions, if not billions of pounds worth of damage has been done to the British economy alone. Does the buck stop with CrowdStrike?
I think who the buck will ultimately stop with will be a matter for the regulators to decide. So far, we don't have any reports that the confidentiality of the data has been breached. So they're so far safe on that. We don't know whether the integrity of the data have been compromised, by which I mean that systems that became inoperational may still have been left open, which creates a possibility of hackers to access that data. And I've already mentioned the data availability issue. So once these issues are taken into consideration by the data regulatory watchdogs, then there is going to be an evaluation on breach and whether the liability will sit with one of the two companies involved or it will be distributed.
And do you think people overseas, hostile agents, hostile powers, we often talk about the Chinese, the Russians, they must be looking at this and think that this is beyond our wildest dreams. You know, what they've achieved against us so far has been a tea party compared to this. But will they be looking on, Megha, and thinking, right, here's the Achilles heel, here are the weak points, and will this self-inflicted damage, if you like, by a data company allow those who would wish to cause us damage from overseas to see the way of getting the Trojan horse in and causing us harm?
I think that is a fair concern in that criminal hackers and state-linked hackers, in recent years have really gone after the supply chain of IT companies. Such hackers, if they want to get access to sensitive data, they've figured out that no point trying to breach 150 companies, just go after the one supplier that serves these 150 companies and you'll get access to a much richer trove of data. I think, cybersecurity can never be 100% foolproof, but defensive strategies are nonetheless extremely important. So far, technological adoption has been driven by, a desire for efficiency, automation, cutting costs, but not enough people have paid attention to the resilience of these technologies when they do fail, when they do get disrupted, or when they become a problem in and of themselves. So we need companies to think a lot more seriously about legal resilience, so they're on the right side of law and regulations, of operational resilience, so that, like the companies you mentioned, travel insurers or airlines, have the capacity and the people and the skills to, have a contingency plan in place if there is a crisis of some kind. And also security resilience. I mean, this goes back to the question you asked. Bad actors use the same tech, the same systems, the same tools we have available. And the barriers to misusing this technology is falling constantly. So you need robust cybersecurity resilience. In short, it's not good enough to just have great tech and use it well. It is equally important that you have a peacetime, non-crisis time, disaster recovery plan in place so that you can avoid the kind of damages that the economy has seen and different sectors have seen, and so that you can also avoid such a disruption to then become a window for criminal actors.
Excellent summary. Thanks for keeping it simple and easy to understand. It's much benefited myself. That's Megha Kumar, who works for the cybersecurity consulting business CyXcel. Does it make you wonder how dependent we are on technology? We're phasing out cash, we're phasing out our landlines, we're phasing out paperwork at our GP surgeries. And today highlights just how dependent we are on tech. Did we have it better in the good old days? Get in touch the usual ways.